did a quiz on 8.4 last Thursday, okay, before the 3-day weekend. If you are missing that quiz or still missing the test from before that, let's do it in class tomorrow, because tomorrow is no new notes. It's just practicing this. So be ready for test or quiz tomorrow, maybe except for you tomorrow, because you went a lot of it. Okay, so there was a quiz review that we did on Wednesday, and it is on Canvas with the key and everything. So if you need something from me, tell me later, but that is what we did on Thursday, so the quiz. And then the test from before that, 8.1 to 8.3, there's a few of you that still need to make it up. Let's use in class tomorrow. Then we will review and have our test, believe it or not, already ready for another test. We only have 2 sections, 8.4 and 8.6. We did skip 8.5, so if you're wondering what happened there, that's where we are. So I think the test is going to be Friday, all right? Don't forget, Albert I.O. is due tonight. So if you haven't done it yet, do it tonight. Okay, you should have done it, though, because we had a ton of time after the quiz on Thursday. You guys had lots of time. I was like, work on Albert I.O., do it. Okay, so we're going to learn about simple compound and continuously compounding interest. Sounds difficult. Promise you it's not. When you invest money, you earn interest from the bank or institution with which you are investing. The balance of your account after T years may be calculated using simple interest, compound interest, or continuously compounding interest. And these are the 3 formulas. There's some similarities in the 3 of them, and there's some differences. So we're going to break down what each of the letters mean as we go through. A is common in all 3 of them. So A is the current amount of money in your account. So think about your account balance, what's in there after you put your money in and get interest and all that stuff, okay? T is number of years that it's in the account. T is time in years. P is your principal, which is your amount that you put in. You remember when I taught you some of this before, P was like if your grandma gives you a nice big check for your birthday, that's your money, your principal that you put into the account. And R is your interest rate, and then we'll talk about some of the other letters in there as we go. One thing you need to know is you always change percents to decimals, always, okay? So you're always going to be given a number with a percent sign next to it. That's your rate, your R. We change it to a decimal, and that's just moving the decimal point 2 places to the left, or dividing by 100. If you take 7% and you divide it by 100, 7 divided by 100, that would be 7% changed to a decimal would be 0.07%, or 0.07. Okay, so let's look at the first question. Like, how are we going to know which one to use? Jeremiah invests $3,500 in an account with a 7% annual simple interest rate, making no other deposits or withdrawals. What will Jeremiah's account balance be after 6 months? Simple interest means there's no, the word compound will not be anywhere in the question. And you'll see one of each of these in a minute. When it doesn't say the word compound in it, or it actually will say the word simple, you know it's this one, okay? So the amount that he invests, that's P. So P is going to be $3,500. My rate is 7%. And we'll change our percent to a decimal, and that's really it. Then we just plug it into the formula. Oh, and then the time, we'll get to that. Plug it into the formula and solve. So a lot of this is done for us. So here's our simple interest formula, and we're going to find out how much he has after 6 months. Remember, time is in years, so 6 months would be half of a year. So 1/2 or 0.5. So here's the formula for simple interest. Plugged in is our principal, the 1, plus our percent changed to a decimal. So remember, 7% is 0.07. That's where that came from, times 0.5. So take a second and plug that in your calculator. Make sure you can get it. I'll put the answer here. You make sure you know how to put it in your calculator, because really it's all calculator work. And since it's money, we round to 2 decimal places. getting that? I see a lot of people just watching and not picking up their calculator. You should be getting this on your calculator. Anybody not getting this on their calculator? Is it working out easily? Yes? No problems? Nobody's having a problem? Yes. So, I didn't do it, yeah. So 3,500 times 1 plus 0.07 times 0.5. Just type it right in left to right. Exactly what you see got typed in the calculator. Okay? So simple interest, pretty basic, okay? So, if we change the time to 1 year, okay, big deal. The only thing that changes is t is going to be 1, all right? All the other numbers stay the same. It's kind of dumb that they put that in here, but fine. If you put that in your calculator, the amount's going to go up, right? You're leaving the money in your account for a longer period of time, so you're earning interest on a longer period of time, okay? Don't worry about that next question. All right, let's get to the other two types that we have. So this is simple interest. Simple interest. On the back, let's talk about compound interest. This is the more complicated of the formulas. It's just got more going on, and you have to be careful in your calculator. So Leilani invests $2,000 in her account. That's certainly going to be my principal. With a 5% interest rate. There's my R. And then here's that word compounded quarterly. Quarterly. Making no other deposits or withdrawals. What will Leilani's account be after 6 months and after a year? Okay. So we know what P is. R is 5% changed to a decimal, so 0.05. T, in this problem right here, T would be 0.5, just like the last one. We'll do it also for T being 1 year. Okay. But the only new word in there is compounding quarterly. That means it's this formula, compounding. And I'll explain when you do continuously. We've actually already done that one before. But anyway, compounds are these. So let's write out a few of them here in the margin. So if you have annual, let's call this compounds. It means how often the bank is going to add interest to your account. So if it adds it annually, that's once per year. Semi-annually, I think there's 2 L's, don't judge me if not, is twice a year. Quarterly is another one you'll hear. That is 4 times a year. There's 4 quarters of a school year, 4 quarters in a year. Monthly would be what?
12.
12. We have weekly, which is 52. We can even have daily. How many days are there?
365.
Yes, JT, you got it. So I think that covers everything. If I missed one, I'll have you guys add it. But you need to know the compounds. Okay, so since this is compounding quarterly, that means N is 4. So here's that formula with all of those variables plugged in. What you guys need to do is I want to see everybody pick up their calculator because you're going to need me one-on-one if you don't practice it now. Take a second, everybody, and make sure you can get this answer. I'm going to give you a tip, though. The tip is this. Whenever I have to do this formula, I always figure out what that is first, so I don't have to type in another multiplication problem there. So I'll make that, I'll have that answer. It just makes life easier. You decide how you do it. Everyone should pick up their calculator and try typing this in and getting this answer. So everyone now is doing it, including me. I'm doing it too. And if you want to try it with 1 year, your amount will go up. The longer you keep money in an account, the more money you're going to earn, right? Because it's just going to keep adding it on for a longer period of time. So if you're not getting it right, look at my screen, look at yours, and see what you're doing wrong. Are you forgetting parentheses, that kind of thing? Okay. All right. The last formula, so if you were still struggling, I will come help you. Last one is the third formula, which is compounding continuously. The word continuously will be in the word problem whenever you use this formula. It'll always be in there. Borrows $1,800 with a 4.5% interest rate, compounded continuously. If he or she does not make any payments, how much will this person owe after 6 months? Okay? So when you hear compounding continuously, you know it's going to be what we call the PERT formula. We did do this formula before, didn't we? Did we? I feel like we did. Thank you. Okay. So it's probably not that big of a surprise what's in there. Principal, rate, time is 6 months, so again it's 0.5. And E is a button on your calculator. So here's everything plugged in. We would have 1,800. You should all know where E is from that last quiz, but second natural log. And it gives us, it puts our cursor already up in the power. So we would have 0.045 times 0.5. Okay, so how do you know when to use what formula? Well, usually the simple interest one will say simple interest, but at least it won't say compounding. The word compounding won't be in it, so you know it's that one. If it's got the word compounding continuously, it's PERT. And if it's compounded monthly, quarterly, any of these compounds, you know it's that formula. But the P and the R and the T all mean the same thing in all of the problems. Okay? Any questions for me? If you don't have page 105 at your desk, you might want to go rip it out. It's the last page we have to rip out for this unit. Feel free to go do that. Don't tell me I messed up. Oh, yeah, this is D8. Sorry, guys. Change it. D8. D8. Sorry and thank you. D8. Okay, Dylan, come on. Guys, let's work on our homework. Don't just copy my answers.